Hey everybody, I'm Alex Arona here, one of the hosts of the Super GG Radio podcast, part of NPR of Illinois, and I am here with...
Bank. Hi everyone.
Bank, you are one of the Wild Gentlemen, the Wild Gentlemen Studios, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. What is your role at Wild Gentlemen?
I'm started as a writer in the group, and also I am one of the co-founders of the company. Now I'm more like a general creative director.
Okay. And Wild Gentlemen released one of my favorite games that I've played in a very long time, Chicken Police. Where are you guys from? How did you get started?
Yeah, the studio was basically founded by three friends and still run by three friends. Actually, I'm one of them, obviously. We are from Hungary, and we are working in a home office system since we founded the company, so even before the COVID. So we started out as this very little micro indie company, and in the beginning we didn't really have any big goals or plans. We just wanted to make a game. This was Chicken Police, the first one, Chicken Police Painted Red. Then we got carried away, so to speak. The game itself grew, and the team grew with it. So now we have a team of 20 people, and we are working on several projects in the same time.
So Chicken Police was kind of a bigger success than you kind of thought, and it did kind of let you guys grow into obviously where you are today. How does it feel looking back at the first game? And how does it feel creating a universe of characters spanning across multiple games now with the Chicken Police as a franchise?
Yeah, actually, we had no idea that the game would be such a huge success. We felt from the start that we are creating something unique, but the adventure game genre is so niche that we didn't think it would be any kind of worthwhile success, to be honest. At least not in a financial point of view. Then, to our great surprise, both the critics and players loved the game, and while it wasn't as big of a hit as, like, I don't know, Cult of the Lamb or something like that, it was a strong start within its own genre and established the existence of our studio. So for us it was a glorious start, and the fact that it then became this universe all of its own is kind of a different story, but
I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, players loved the world we created around Chicken Police so much that it was clear for us that we weren't going to let it go that easily, and it would be a breeding ground for more games, basically, or more stories. And so we did in the end. So this is the way the World of Wilderness, as we call it, was born, which is now almost like a multiverse of stories and games within this universe we created, because for Chicken Police, obviously Chicken Police is just a little point and click meets visual novel adventure game, but even for that game we created a pretty big universe with hundreds of years of history and its own religions and cultures and things like that. So the game had a pretty deep lore, and players loved it. So we just gathered our thoughts about it and thought, why not make something even more big and even more sprawling from this universe.
I was gonna say, because you've expanded with, like, you have a sequel obviously coming out, which I'm very excited for. But you've also created smaller side games like Moses and Play-Doh or Zip's Cafe. Were those kind of side projects, like you were kind of messing around, passion projects, fun experiments? How did those come about?
Yeah, I think all of these you mentioned, because Zip's Cafe was really just an experiment, almost like an inside joke or something like that.
All right.
We just made this fun little prototype of games, and one of them was this cafe simulator. We loved the Coffee Talk, the game, and we thought that because we had this cafe in the game, the first game, why not doing this little fun project, which eventually grew into this little game, this little side project. But basically, yeah, it's a small game, but it's a normal game, and Moses and Plato is a little bit different story. Because it was intended from the beginning to be a full-fledged game, and was essentially our first idea after Chicken Police, because we knew that one day there would be a Chicken Police 2. That was a sure thing for us, but we didn't want to jump straight into it after the first game. We wanted to give ourselves a little time. But we love the world, so we started to sketch out this other detective game, which is more like in this Agatha Christie-like genre, set entirely on a train. So, and this ended up being Moses and Plato, which is now a full-fledged project at our house, just like Chicken Police 2.
That's fantastic, and I am a big fan. I've written about Coffee Talk on many occasions. I love the Coffee Talk series, so it's kind of cool. I'm very excited. I have Zips Cafe. I have not gotten around to playing it yet.
Oh, okay.
Now, there's a specific style and aesthetic to Chicken Police, with realistic human imagery and anatomically correct animal like heads and features to them. And that's what made it stand out for me. It was so stunning. I don't know. I was at a game store, and I found a copy of Chicken Police, and I instantly called 3 different people just to tell them about this game because I was so excited for it. Do you feel like that success, like your Chicken Police and its fandom, do you think that kind of happened from word of mouth? Do you think it's your imagery? Do you think it's the deep story? What do you think that really appeals and gets people hooked?
Yeah, actually, I think the aesthetic must have played a huge role in our success. That's for sure, because it's so striking and strange and weird. Although we deliberately chose this style, it wasn't meant to be that shocking. We just felt it was a way to tell this story authentically, and of course, it fits perfectly with this whole absurd tone of the game, this satire feeling we were aiming for. So it was kind of a match made in heaven, and almost like a surprise accident, because I just played with different styles when I suddenly cropped a head of a chicken and placed it to a photo of mine actually, and I was like, oh my god, this is it. Because before we found the final look, we experimented with a lot of styles, pixel art and everything else. But yeah, we then found this solution relatively quickly, this photo manipulation thing, and it was a real eureka moment for us. We just knew that this is the way we need to go.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I think that you guys hit it perfectly. I mean, I know that there are some other games that did kind of try to do similar. I believe that Tales, I think it was. There was a Tales one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But your guys, it hits really hard. That just like the art style, the realism, and then just the voice acting. The voice acting is phenomenal.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Actually, voice acting to include full voiceover for the game, which is more than 100,000 words, was a super huge risk for us as a small indie developer. But after we did some voice tests for an early demo, we knew that we need to include that because it elevated the game with so many levels. So.
Yeah, and you see like big games that don't have full voice acting, so this really stood out. Were you guys big fans of noir, like the detective thriller? what were some of your influences or inspirations for this? Like any like specific film or media?
Yeah, I myself, as the writer and creator of the series, I was certainly a big noir fan before the game. Basically, I've been fascinated by black and white movies since I was a little kid, and devoured noir films and hardboiled detective fiction since young adulthood. Uh, Among movies, it would probably be too much to list all of my favorites, but to just give you some examples: The Big Sleep,
Yep.
Gilda, Double Indemnity, Stray Dog, The Third Man, and maybe Detour or Casablanca. Are definitely among my biggest favorites. But yeah, it will be hard to list because when I wrote Chicken Police, the first game, I watched 64 noir movies.
Wow.
To be exact. So yeah, it was a on one hand a passion for me, obviously, but on the other hand a huge research too. And yeah, that's it for noir movies, which are always loved. And when it comes to games, Green Fandango and Discord Noir can be left out. I absolutely love those games. Green Fandango may be my favorite adventure game of all time. But to give you some stranger examples, if we are looking at world building, for example, the Thief series and Bioshock was probably the huge, most influential.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense considering that you you guys thought of a lot of like almost everything, to where, you know, there's mailman, newspaper people, there's bartenders, like everything is kind of thought out as like what kind of animal would do this, what kind of animal would do, and also how does the world look, you know, do people fill out taxes, is there paperwork, is there, you know, it's really well thought about, it's completely, it's just a really fleshed out world, and I think it's fantastic to kind of see that kind of thing.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that was one of the main points when we did this whole world building of the game, that it needs to be a real place, a place with so many conflicts and as I said, it has its own history and religion and cultures and all of this, to be feel really alive, and that was maybe the most important thing when I wrote the whole story and the whole world of the game.
Now, like I've heard, one of the things I had read somewhere that one of the things that inspired Chicken Police was a YouTube video of two real life rabbits like kind of fighting, and two different chickens breaking it up. Was that kind of really how it started? I don't know where I read that.
Yeah. That's a real story. It's sounds like some urban legend, but now that's the real truth. Yes, the whole idea of the story about two rooster detectives, and even the title Chicken Police actually came from this pretty ancient YouTube video. I think like from 2005 or something like that. And yeah, after I got this root of the idea, I added everything else, of course, myself. But if you look at the gist of it, yes, it all started with this unknown person's back garden, where two real life rooster just break this fight of two rabbits. And yeah, the thing was so surreal yet obviously funny that I just suddenly felt some connection to it, and yeah, after I started playing with the idea that this whole noir aspect and everything else, and yeah, the rest is history.
It's really funny. I after I read that, I was like, well, I should probably see what this YouTube video is, and it's you know, I get it. You see these chicken just flying out of nowhere and split the rabbit up and then just stand guard against. It's very funny. So, okay, if you were to let's expand this franchise here. We're thinking like an animated movie, YouTube series, like a jazz noir album, a radio drama.
Yeah, actually, it's funny because originally, before it was even a game, Chicken Police was written as a novel, which was never published, but it's an almost complete novel, and that was turned into a script for a pilot episode of an animated series. So essentially, from the beginning, we thought of it as a kind of this multimedia franchise. So we never thought of it just a video game. Of course, only the game has come out of it so far, but we'd go crazy for a streaming series or something like that. So and we believe it would be unique enough to generate a lot of attention. Probably a lot more than the game itself, because this whole photorealistic aesthetic with animals and the whole black and white noir is really something that still can stood out in this crowded market. But anyway, if any producer listening to this, we are open. We're open to any suggestion.
Yeah, because I really think that there's something here. I feel like there's a lot that could be happening, and even just like if you like just watching, if there was a playthrough, you should record if like people just record playthroughs of Chicken Police. It is a full noir story that you could just like, oh, okay, I'm going to sit down and watch this because it's just a good show.
Yeah. We felt that too from the beginning, and probably that's one of the reasons why we started to make more games in this universe. Because if we can't do our own animated series or things like that, well, we can grow this world even bigger and bigger, at least.
Yeah. So moving on from Chicken Police, can you tell us more about Retro Space? Like, what are your plans for this? And what kind of like game is it? Immersive sim, Doom style shooter. It's another game that I've seen you guys are working on.
Yeah, actually, we never really wanted to be an adventure games team forever. So just to make adventure games. A lot of our members love other genres, so we were sure that we'd be adventuring into other genres, pun intended. The strongest of these early ideas, one of the strongest was Retro Space, which is essentially a disco punk space horror FPS, as we tend to call it, which is basically an immersive sim that tries to evoke the feel and look of the early 2000s games. Mm-hmm. While the story itself and the atmosphere is a reminiscent of this never existed 70s B movie. So we are very fell in love with these 70s movies and especially sci-fi B movies. So we choose that aesthetic for the game because we think that these 70s era aesthetic is very underrepresented in video games. And also boomer shooters are having this big renaissance.
They are.
We basically just mix these two together with everything else we love about immersive scenes and survival horror games, and that's how Retro Space was born. And we actually announced the game a year ago with basically zero expectations because we didn't know that it will gather any attention or not, but it grew pretty big because it already has a lot of wish lists and people are super hyped to play the demo. We are actually working on it, so it kind of grew much bigger than we anticipated.
Yeah, I mean it's got a lot going for it, and while boomer shooters are having the resurgence, the immersive sim, I feel like we haven't had a really like a we've had immersive sims, but they haven't really been, I feel like, what we need. I think we need a really good one, and this promises to the style and aesthetic. It promises to bring something new, and I'm very excited for it.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. We hope to breathe a little life into immersive sims, because there are some promising games on the horizon like Gloomwood or Fallen Aces, or games like that. But yeah, just as you said, immersive sims in general are very under represented nowadays, and I think we need a renaissance for them too, just as like we have this renaissance for boomer shooters.
I agree. And now, are you guys a multi-game studio at this point?
Yeah, we can say that. Actually, we are currently working on 4 different projects at very different points in the development cycle. And from these 4, one is still unannounced.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because it's got Retro Space, Chicken Police, Into the Hive, and Moses and Plato, right?
Yes. Those are the announced titles. Yes.
All right, so we gotta wait a little bit longer for that 4th title, right?
Yeah. not too long, but yeah, several months.
And do you have any other plans? Do you have some? Do you already have, like, is there a whiteboard with Chicken Police 3 somewhere?
Yeah, actually, I have the synopsis for Chicken Police 3, 4, and 5. But,
wow.
Yeah, it's a little bit ambitious. Yes, suddenly we have a lot of on our plate, as we are, as I said, working on 4 projects, and it's both a blessing and a curse, so to speak. But luckily, we tend to look on the blessing side.
Yeah.
We have a project yet to be announced, and of course, we have Chicken Police Into the Hive coming out very soon, followed by Moses and Plato, as we spoke about, and Retro Space will hopefully get a demo too in the near future. So yeah, we are looking forward to a very, very busy year, but yeah, we can't wait to share with the public all the things we are working on, and the unannounced project too. So yeah, it's gonna be a very, very busy, but it's gonna be a fantastic year for us.
I really like the demo for Chicken Police 2. I definitely will jump on Retro Space. Now, you said that it kind of started by you drawing a picture, like putting the chicken over your body. Is that your animal personality? Is that what you would be in the Chicken Police world?
Yeah, probably. I would definitely be a rooster. Yes, that's probably partially why I was attracted to the idea of having 2 roosters as the main characters in our game. I can't say exactly why. It just feels like fate to me, or something like that. So I can't say anything else about this. But yeah, my wife would say I'm more like a sloth or a turtle or some kind of slow and lazy animal. But yeah, but that's another subject.
That's awesome. All right, and that's pretty much all I have. But tell us where people can find your games, and where can people find you guys just in general.
Oh yes, all our games are present on all the main social platforms like X or Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit. So if people search Chicken Police or Moses and Plato or Retro Space, they'll find us immediately. And of course, all our games are on Steam, so they can be wishlisted, which we would really encourage everyone to do, because for us as indie developers, that's the most important thing before release, to gather as many wishlists as we can. So yeah, please wishlist Chicken Police Into the Hive, and of course Moses and Plato and Retro Space too.
Awesome. I can't. But these games, man, they're so good. And Chicken Police was on Switch, correct? Right? It was on.
Yes. Actually, Chicken Police was on almost all the platforms in the known universe, like even on Stadia and Amazon Luna and everywhere. So, but yes, it was on PC and all the main platforms like PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch too.
Fantastic. Okay. And that'll be it for us here at Super GG Radio. Thanks so much again for talking to us, Bank.
Thanks for having me.